cowboy. You listen.
Hey there, cowgirl.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
What was the cow dog's name?
Hank.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You're listening to Just a Bit Gaming. I'm your host, Ryan Chummy Crash Reynolds. And this is your other host, Adrian Birzoid Townsend. Woohoo!
Nice. Dude, did you see me get ready with the O face before I had
I see you get ready with your O face most of the time when we're in our room together. So we're a year old yesterday. We were probably, if our podcast were a human baby, we would be weaned from the breast.
Depending. If you're any of my kids, no, you wouldn't be.
No, both of my kids at this point were. Absolutely. Yeah.
But
Fat Big was like 6 months and the bird was, I don't know, maybe 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we would be like
my kids don't have real names.
That's really
Fat Big and the bird.
So, man, it's hard to believe that 1 year ago yesterday we recorded the first episode.
Yeah, at my dining room table.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, we had that green sheet with someone else still on it from the thrift store.
Yeah. We tried the green screen route and that didn't work out in our favor.
We should just be, fuck the outline. We should be having a flashback episode.
Well, we could. Hey, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about on this outline here, but I do want to reminisce. This is a special moment.
It's a special moment, special episode.
What would you say is your favorite episode?
Man, that's tough. For some reason, I hold episode 10 in very high regard.
And episode 10 was which one? Because I don't remember. Names.
I don't even remember at this point. I just know that that's the episode that I judge the other episodes by.
Episode 10 was the Happy Maniversary.
Happy Maniversary was episode 10. That was the first time Mad Daddy Gracchus threw something new into the mix. Well, no, because there was the after party song that we did on the first few episodes.
I would love to see the after party song make a comeback.
That
was a good one.
Maybe we just throw it in.
Yeah.
Just for the. Can we throw it in right here?
I'll throw it in right here.
Ooh, it's a party after party, just a bit gaming after party. It's a party, let's have a party with jam.
All right, so there was a tune from Mad Daddy Gracchus. It's called After Party, and then Happy Maniversary had had a nice ballad by Mad Daddy Gracchus. Mad Daddy Gracchus being the guy responsible for our theme song.
Yeah.
And then
I know who Mad Daddy Gracchus is.
Uh-oh. So do I. Also, Fat Big gave him his name. Fat Big's the one that named him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
News. Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you that story in private.
Okay.
So,
But what was the big thing why do you judge all the other episodes?
I just remember it being a specifically good episode early on in our podcasting career.
Honestly, I feel like we really kind of hit our stride around then.
I agree completely, except for all the episodes that I've inexplicably missed.
Hey, things happen, but
it's part
the
of our
show
stride.
must go on.
Yeah. What would I be if not determined to be unreliable?
Yeah. Well, there was several really good episodes that I enjoyed.
Norman Fetus was a good episode.
Yeah, that actually was going to be the one that I was
episode 17?
I don't remember, but that was the one where we talked about Death Stranding.
Yeah, lots of Death Stranding on that episode.
And we are going to mention it here today too.
That's why it was called Norman Fetus.
Norman Fetus. It was a good episode, and I think like you maybe used 10. I used that one as kind of like the go-to.
Yeah.
Hey, we did a great show.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's just giving you guys some episode references to go back and listen to.
What do you think is our worst episode?
Gosh, one
was pretty. It was awkward.
One was super awkward.
I was talking in a radio voice, like, and this is why we such and such.
Yeah, we were both super quiet.
We were very serious and very professional. I remember listening to that episode after we edited it together, and I was like, man, our show fucking sucks.
Well, the thing is, I enjoyed it, but the thing is I was uncomfortable speaking into a microphone. I've never done something like that before.
Yeah, and I was being uncharacteristically serious.
Well, the thing was, as much as you tell yourself, hey, we're recording a podcast now, put on your podcast face and just have a good time, it's hard to do until you've done it multiple times.
Right.
Like that first time being thrown into it.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah, it's something that comes with doing it over time. And that's why episode 1 is a nice one to go back to and say, hey, look how far we've come. Like, we've gotten comfortable with this.
That's the birth of the madness.
Yeah. But it also seems to be the one where everybody starts off with, or a lot of people when they're introduced to the show. I mean, I know myself, I usually go back to the first episode of a show I just discovered.
When I tell people to listen to a show, I tell them to skip episode 1.
I typically do as well.
Yeah, just don't listen to the first. Listen to really anything like from 10 on. Those are the good ones.
Those are the ones that. Those are the ones where we hit our stride.
The one we did in January, right after the holidays, I think that one was a bad episode. I don't remember though. I just remember. I feel like it was.
We took a month off,
and we were awkward again.
Yeah, so taking time off is difficult.
Had some dusty bones, you know.
Yeah, man. But I'd say my favorite part about doing the show is the fact that it really keeps us more in touch than previously.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think the last time I saw you before we started doing the episode was like 6 months to a year at least.
Right.
So it keeps us.
This knocks that bullshit out.
It makes us have to see each other. Which
Absolutely,
is cool.
It's cool.
Yeah,
and our kids are close now.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Malone actually got mad at me the other day.
Our wives are close.
That's badass.
Yeah, it is.
The wives are close now. That's important to me.
It's very important.
You know.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't like each other, man, that would be fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, it would suck, but it'd be funny.
Well, the thing that you grow to miss as you get older are the strong friendships that you used to have.
Exactly.
And when you get older and have a family, those tend to go away because they change what is important. Their family becomes important and they have little or less time to spend with other people.
Unless you can find something like this to force yourself and another person to manufacture something that even brings a glimmer of that excitement back.
Well, and having the spouses and kids like each other is also helpful. That way,
it's like a fucking carnival every 2 weeks. Seriously,
pizza time,
pizza and beer and screaming children
and cigarettes. No cigarettes.
Well, I ate 3 on the way here. So.
Well, man, I don't have anything else to reminisce about unless you do. I will throw in your Mad Daddy Grack. I'm sorry. Not your Mad Daddy.
Oh, cat's out of the bag.
Oh, man. I just failed that one. I'm going to throw that song in right here, though.
Let's do it as 2 guys talking games and beer. 27 podcasts a motherfucking year, and we're just a bit gaming. We're just a bit gaming, and it's still just 2 guys talking about games and beer. Love you.
But anyway, guys, let's get straight into what we're going to talk about. I'm going to give a kind of general overview of the different things I want to talk about. We've got Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. We've got Sega Genesis Classics. We've got Dark Souls Remastered. We've got, I don't have physicals, but we've got Mario Tennis Aces demo. We've got Pokemon Quest. And we have some announcements. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. We've got Fallout 76.
I'm out of bullets.
We also have E3. What we're excited about. I'm going to E3 next week.
Slay.
I'm super stoked, man. This is like one of those bucket lists. But
man, seriously though, it's the amount of jealousy that I can't even be excited for you.
Oh, I remember being in high school just wanting to go to E3 so bad, and it stayed with me throughout the course of my life, and I finally have the opportunity to go, and I'm super pumped about it. I cannot wait.
I remember the first E3 I ever watched on TV.
Yeah.
I was 18. It was 2007. And I was in Colorado, sitting in the living room of my grandparents' cabin. We were getting the place ready for them to sell it.
Oh, really?
And I spent half of the summer in Cimarron, New Mexico, working in a restaurant, and the other half of the summer in Wolf Creek, Colorado, refurbishing a cabin.
Nice.
And they had cable in this log cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
But, they had the gaming channel. G4. And I watched my first. It was a rerun, like they were re-showing E3 footage, but it was the first E3 I'd ever checked out. And I remember what caught my eye was the cosplay game that I had previously been like unintroduced to. And so all these people running around in these like crazy fucking they looked like the video game characters.
I think that was kind of like the start of cosplay.
Yeah, that was.
It wasn't the big deal that it is today.
Yeah, it was. No, not at all. Absolutely not at all. But I remember that moment. I don't even remember who I saw dressed as what. I just remember that there was a blonde girl and a spiky-headed guy talking about video games and doing a whole piece on cosplay. And that was
that's your memory of E3 is cosplay.
That's my first memory of E3. My best memory of E3 was us working at Fast Signs and
watching it on the
computers when we were supposed to be working. And we resorted to just yelling across the office instead of, because I couldn't sit still.
Yeah.
I when he and I worked together, it was supposed to be a desk job. I don't know if I ever sat down in the 5 months I worked there.
Luckily, you were at a desk that
I could just stand.
Yeah, it was a standing desk.
But I did a lot of toddler style running around distracting people.
He did.
It was fun. We had fun.
It was fun. And yeah, I would put E3 on the screen while I worked, and I still do that. I mean, I'm still at a computer screen all the time.
I got no work done. I just watched it.
I would listen to it while I work, but my first experience with E3 was in 97-ish. It was through the GamePro magazine, and I remember they would show screenshots of the games, but they would show statues that were at E3. Like they had the statue of Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
Wow. Yeah.
And stuff like that. And that stuff always excited me to see these statues, and now I get to go see them in real life, And I remember when I went to college, my first year in college was 2001, and I would watch the videos that they would record at E3 on my computer, and man, it was always such an exciting thing. And you better believe that I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff on Instagram and Twitter while I'm there, so you guys can experience this with me. I'm not going to promise to do any kind of newsy type stuff, or I may try to record little tidbits here and there if I can. But man, I'm going to be so overwhelmed taking this stuff in. That
of course.
I'm not going to be able to commit to anything.
And I already made the announcement on Instagram Live earlier. I'll still be in town while he's at E3, but I'll take pictures of toys and stuff at my house and post those pictures so I feel involved.
I'm going to try to get a picture of as many statues as I can and post those up on my Instagram feed. So guys, be looking forward to a lot of posts on Instagram. If you're not already following us at JabGcast on Instagram, please.
At cool. JabGcast.
So without further ado, we'll get back into E3 later, but I wanted to talk about some games that we've been playing. Starting with, actually, Ryan has been playing God of War. I want to hear your thoughts on God of War.
I like it, boy.
That's right. Good impression.
Man, it's good. It's so good. Honestly, the first night I played it, the kids and the wife went to bed, and I was like, damn, son, I'm awake, and I have some whiskey in the cabinet. So the first night I played it, I had some whiskey in me and didn't really take it in. So I started it over without the aid of whiskey to take it in,
Yeah.
It's so fucking beautiful.
It is.
Oh my God. It is so pretty.
Yeah.
It is a bit more linear than I would like it to be. You don't have the breadth of exploration that I would really like to see.
Well, it depends on how far you are into the game. Are you sailing around in the boat yet?
No, I haven't because okay. I'm an every nook and cranny type of player.
The game is not worth exploring up until you get the boat. When you get the boat, that's when the game opens up.
Okay.
And
all right.
When you get the boat, there are so many places you can go, and you just haven't reached that point yet.
The The battle system is fantastic. The combat, it actually has some weight to it. It feels great. I even thought that it was going to really throw me off having to control Atreus while I was controlling Kratos.
It's so seamless.
But it's seamless. It's just another combination. It's just an extension of what you're doing. Like, you can't think of it as controlling two different characters. You're just controlling your combos. That's all it is.
Exactly. It's like if Atreus wasn't there and this was a button that you push that Kratos would somehow shoot magic bullets, magic arrows or something.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The environments and the character design are absolutely incredible. It feels very immersive.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm having a good time. I was going to bring it back to you so you could play it some more because I know you're kind of missing it.
There's so much left I haven't explored yet.
But I don't want to give it back to you yet. So I didn't.
That's fine. I still have other things, and I'm going to be at E3 next week. So
and you're going to be at E3.
Yeah, you've got some time.
Yeah, it's almost like
it though. And I told you that the other day that I was missing it.
Yeah.
He was telling me about how he's been playing. I was like, oh, I miss it. I want to get in there and just slay some dudes.
I want very badly to find his old blades at some point in the game. Just for a throwback, you know? Ditch the axe and have the blades.
The blades are missed. I will say that I love the blades, and I was disappointed in the axe, but the functionality of the axe made me forget about the blades, to be completely honest.
Yeah, just for the throwback's sake, the nostalgia's sake. The size of the battle system, like with the axe, feels much smaller. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I know you can throw the axe and call it back and all of that, but the chains whipping out and fucking
circling,
hurricaning all over the place, that was a big spectacle of the old games that I don't miss with the aesthetic of the new game. But that type of like big grand battle feel is lost a little in this game. Just a little.
I won't. I mean, that's your opinion. I don't agree. I was disappointed at first that the blades weren't there. I was like, those are so iconic. You have to have the blades.
Honestly, I prefer the axe, and I prefer the axe combat.
Yeah.
Especially with the new aesthetic of it.
Right.
With the new environments and the character design and this kind of pseudo realism that they're going with now.
Yeah.
As far as how everything looks and feels, I prefer the axe combat. Also, I prefer an axe any given day to these dual wield chunky, like early 2000s. We talked about that early 2000s look and feel, you know, that big overwrought sense of, bleh, you know.
Axe, I love the way it feels like a heavy, just it's a good weapon.
You feel like you're doing damage with it through the controller, you know? So I can't complain about that. I'm just saying that sense of like big sweeping carnage, I've lost a little bit to the sense of a more real and realized feeling combat system.
Yeah. The blades I think would feel more light and airy, and I don't think they were.
And they'd be out of place.
And I remember in the other games when you got other weapons, they felt heavier even still than the blades. But the blades are so iconic.
It's just iconic. I'm just saying as a call out, as a callback, I'd like to see maybe a patch or something, or like a DLC mission where you stumble across them and have to revisit, you know, one of those old demons or something.
That would be cool.
Also, Baldur is a totally badass villain.
I hate Baldur. I hate him. That first battle you have with him pissed me off so much because the dude won't die, and that's his character.
That's the point.
That's the point. But
and I don't mean to brag, because you know I'm not terribly good at video games all that often, but I didn't die once fighting him in that first battle.
I didn't either, but I felt that the battle was
too
drawn out.
It was too drawn out, but I love the character.
The whole scene was really incredible. It really was. But the fourth time he comes back to life and I'm fighting him, I'm like, all right, guys, I get it.
Give it up.
He won't die. Let's move on. But I will say on the Norse mythology note, I did go ahead and purchase that Audible book that I told you about to learn more about it.
Yeah.
They are a lot of the characters in the game are actually pretty well represented by actual Norse mythology. Yeah. This book is incredible. It's a book. It's just called Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, And
Dude, I love Neil Gaiman.
oh, so you're familiar with
he
him?
is one of my all-time favorite authors.
Oh my gosh, he is such a good writer, man.
He writes
and narrator. He narrates his own book.
That's
on Audible.
awesome.
Yeah.
He has. Shelby and I have read several of his novels.
Okay, I've never heard of him before. So this is interesting.
He's done several different comic books.
Yeah.
One specifically called The Sandman is kind of was a running story arc of his for a long time. He's done movies. You ever seen the movie Coraline?
I have
The
not.
kids
My
movie?
kids have seen it, but I haven't.
The book was written by Neil
Okay.
Gaiman.
Is it Gaiman?
Yeah.
Okay. But as a narrator, he makes this book come to life. He is telling these stories of these different gods and characters in Norse mythology, and I'm like, I am so engrossed in what I'm listening to that he's such a good storyteller.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a literary gem. I love him so much. I'm glad that you just inadvertently found a way into the life of Neil Gaiman.
Well, you could thank God of War for that. I mean,
Yeah,
it got me into it.
I've got a lot. If you want, I've got a lot of his material.
Absolutely.
that
I
you
mean,
can check out.
I after I finish this, I am going to look and see what other books he's done and listen to those.
So many.
I
American
probably won't read
Gods.
them, but I'll listen to
American
them.
Gods is a jam. It is a good book.
Oh, okay. So he's done other.
He does
gods.
fiction too.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've read 6 of his books at this point.
That's cool.
He's very good, and his comic books are. I could brag about him all day. He's great.
I just find it interesting that you already knew who he was. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Shelby's the one that turned me on to him,
Really?
and I've been turned on for a while.
Then I'm gonna have to mention to her that his Norse mythology book is really good, and she needs to give it a read or a listen.
She does.
She does.
She'd be into that.
Well, dude, let's get into this because man, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection.
Street Fighter.
This game, when it was announced, was super, super exciting to me because I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. I remember, I could tell you, actually, I'm going to tell you my first experience with Street Fighter 2, the original. My brother was in Taekwondo, and there was a gas station on the corner in the same shopping center. So while he was practicing or doing his Taekwondo practice, I would walk over to this gas station, and they had Street Fighter arcade in the gas station. So I'd just sit there, and I never had any quarters. I think maybe I played the game once or twice, but I would just sit there and watch the opening screen with the music. You know, and you have the guy in the front bouncing around, and he punched the other guy, and it looked like actual street fighting. And I'm like, and then I would watch the computer battles and just sit there and be like, this is amazing. At this point, I had never seen graphics or gameplay like this before. It was so cool to me. And ever since that moment, I have been extremely just drawn to Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2 specifically. My friend had a Super Nintendo, and he would rent Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and we would play the hell out of that game and just all night long battle, and, and just have a good time. And I still have a few copies I have all the Street Fighters that were released on Super Nintendo. It's just one of my favorite series. So.
Yeah, there's a Street Fighter arcade machine at my job.
Oh yeah,
over at SM. Yeah,
like the original Street Fighter 2 or which version?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
That's
Street
awesome.
Fighter 2. I've put a lot of quarters into that machine.
If they ever want to sell it, you know a guy.
Yeah, I bet if I ever just wanted to make it disappear, I know a guy.
Oh well, hey, I'm not gonna say anything. I have gotten very big into arcades here lately. But when this was announced, it was a no-brainer. This game has all of the Street Fighters up until 4. They don't have 4 and 5. But you've got Street Fighter, the original Street Fighter, which I've never played before. You've got Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, Street Fighter 2 Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. There were so many Street Fighter 2s, man. It was ridiculous.
I don't get that. Were they just adding new
characters, they were refining and tweaking and making the battle system more balanced.
Right.
But then you have Street Fighter Alpha. The Alpha series is one I had no previous experience with. But there's Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha 3. Then you have Street Fighter 3, the new generation, new generation. Then Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. Then Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So they're known for releasing several versions.
Which one of those had Jar Jar Binks in it?
It was Street Fighter Third Strike, I believe.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then there's Street Fighter Oprah got skinny, Street Fighter Oprah got fat again.
Super Street Fighter 2, bro. Hyper, next generation, extravagant, fantastic Streets of Rage. So, man, it was super fun to go and play the original Street Fighter, but what I found playing the original Street Fighter is the game sucks. It's not.
It's not good.
It's not good.
I played the original before. It's a bad game.
It is, and it's amazing that they made a sequel off of that. You know.
Well, I mean, they probably looked at it and they were like, "Hell yeah, this game is fucking bad.
Yeah.
Let's try again."
Yeah, and they did, and they knocked it out of the park with Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
They're almost like they're two completely different.
Honestly,
games.
that's how I feel about the Mortal Kombat series.
The first Mortal Kombat I thought was still good.
Going back and playing it, I tried to go back and play it like maybe a year ago and was less than enthused.
Yeah. Well, that goes for me with all the Mortal Kombat series. Mortal Kombat to me was never a game that I enjoyed it for what it was, but it never measured up to Street Fighter in my eyes ever. And the main reason for that being the combat system and how easily it flows.
Oh yeah.
How easy the combos are to pull off and the special attacks. But I mean, I had a plenty of experience with Street Fighter 2, but Alpha was not one that I ever played. I remember when it was in the arcades, but I never played it. Every time I went up to it, there would be guys there already having tournaments.
Right.
So they'd be hogging the system and there'd be quarters stacked up on the machine. I never got a chance to play it. Street Fighter Alpha was super popular when I was in the arcade when I was younger. And I never had experience with Street Fighter 3 either.
Yeah.
Going back and playing these again are well, a lot of these for the first time. Street Fighter 3 is amazing. Street Fighter 3 takes everything that was great about 2 and Alpha, and the animations are incredible. The way it flows.
I might not have ever played 3.
3 is so good. Like I played it before, but I never really got into it.
And honestly, I think most of I love Street Fighter. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I always have, but I think most of my Street Fighter experience is actually from Marvel vs. Capcom stuff.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom. Man, I love those games too.
Yeah, whenever my first job when I was 16, my first real job, I worked at a movie theater, and we had an original Marvel vs. Capcom machine by the concession stand.
Right.
And I played the shit out of that game too.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for how much I played that game. They expected me to work when I was at work and not play the arcade machines, which is hot garbage.
Yeah. You should be able to play when you're at work. That's just the way I
That's
think.
the way I've always lived. I should be able to play video games.
I know firsthand that you live by this rule.
It's I are what I are, man.
Well, anyway, some things about this game. I'm just gonna sell it to you real quick here. Third Strike is amazing. If you haven't played it, play that. Alpha's fun. The online system works incredible on the Switch. It's okay. Playing this game on the Switch in handheld mode is difficult. The control doesn't really lend itself to pulling off the moves very easily. I would still prefer to use a controller, or even better yet, an arcade stick. But when I put this on the screen, I can use my PS4 controller with that adapter that I have, and it's a ton of fun to play. Excuse me. So, Street Fighter, it's one of those games that I love to death, but I'm horrible at.
Street Fighter?
Yeah, and every time
Same.
every time I go online, I'm reminded of the fact that I suck at Street Fighter, and it sucks. So the online works incredibly well, by the way, on the Switch. I get in there. I usually main with Akuma, and I sit there and act like I know what I'm doing and throw off, fireballs and the what's the move, the Hadouken,
Yeah.
and or the spinning leg kick. And I throw them like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know when to use them, when the appropriate time is to use them. And I always get owned. Always.
When was the last time we got a new Tekken?
Recently. Tekken 7?
Man, I love Tekken.
Tekken 7 just came out
Tekken's
like
some
last
good
fall,
shit.
dude. You need to check that out.
Of the fighting games, weapons or no, would you say Street Fighter is your favorite franchise?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. As far as you say as fighting games go,
Fighting games, yeah. Yeah.
I can't I can't, and this actually bleeds over into the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
Sure, yeah,
Just
absolutely.
the X-Men
yeah.
fighting game. All of those games. Any fighting game, I guess, made by Capcom, I love.
Yeah.
What was the other one? The Night Stalkers. You ever played those?
I don't know about that.
Those
one.
are incredible fighting games as well.
Do you remember back on the original Game Boy, Killer Instinct?
Killer Instinct is one that I don't have fond memories of. I didn't like that game.
I played that game till it would not play anymore. Literally did.
Yeah.
I played it till it stopped working.
The combos, the combo system, man. It just wasn't for me. I'm already not good at fighting games, and you're asking me to push all these different buttons and
I was good
be
at that
fast
game.
at it. Yeah.
Soul Calibur has always been my favorite.
Soul Calibur is great.
Franchise.
Soul
I love.
Calibur is
And
great.
I'm good at Soul Calibur.
Soul
Keelik-
Calibur, I'm decent at. Too.
Keelik with his bow staff combos.
Yeah.
Man, I'm good at that shit.
So, moving on.
Dude.
Actually, it's weird because I've been on a replaying old games here lately,
Right.
starting with Street Fighter, or actually starting with Dark Souls. Dark Souls was the first one I got. Dark Souls Remastered just came
I
out.
like that move, huh?
I like it. Clever. So,
I'm a pioneer.
yeah.
I'm
You
in the business
pioneered.
of changing people's lives. I set Street Fighter against the microphone so it shows on the camera. So he set Dark Souls on there.
Hey,
For those of you that are listening instead of watching,
the
all three of you.
Dark Souls is probably, I would venture to say, my favorite game of all time. And that's saying a lot. That's putting it above some really, for me, like really turning point games in my life that I love. This game it's so fun, and I can play it over and over again. Usually I judge a game on how many times I can play it. I've beaten this game twice. I bought it again to play through it again, and I'm still just absolutely in love with this game.
And I've never played it.
It's a game that's not for everybody, but for the people that do like it, they don't just like it, they freaking love it.
Is it as unnecessarily difficult as Bloodborne?
I think it's easier.
Because that's the reason I'm not going to go off on Bloodborne again.
Right.
We've covered this territory. Stupid game.
Well, the thing is, Dark Souls, when I played it for the first time, I thought it was incredibly difficult, and I had a really hard time with it. Playing it again this next time around on the remastered version, I am flying through the game so fast. It's not as difficult as I remember, but since then I've played through Dark Souls 2 a few times, Bloodborne a few times, Dark Souls 3 a few times. Now I'm going back to the original Dark Souls again, and it's easier to me. And all it does is make me want a new Souls game. I need a new Souls game.
Okay. So the leaked artwork, right?
Yeah. The ninja stuff that looks like it could be a Bloodborne, but it's too ninja to be a Bloodborne.
There's rumors swirling about that it might be a new Tenchu game. I didn't mean to slap your knee, so I committed to it the second time. I delicately grazed you the first time, so I had to hit you instead.
You had to make it not so.
Well, not on accident. I saved the delicate stuff for when I mean it.
Dude, yeah, Tenchu. I don't want to get into that. Yeah, that goes in the E3 stuff because that is what I want to talk about as far as what I'm looking forward to with E3. But
I want to talk about that.
You do want to talk about it? We'll touch on it right now. What is your hope?
That it's a Tenchu game. I know. Oh man,
sorry, I just did that right in the mic. Sorry. What is your
Tenchu was rad. Did you ever play Tenchu?
No, but I remember it.
It was like a stealth ninja game, and I wasn't even into stealth games when it came out. The first one I thought was so cool. It was one of those that whenever I looked at it and looked at the graphics, I was like, "Am I controlling a movie right now?"
Oh yeah,
because this looks so real. I mean, in hindsight, you had these big, broad ass shoulders and this tiny ass head.
Were you like going across roofs and stuff, and you would have to? It was kind of like a Metal Gear Solid for ninjas.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I do remember playing that.
I played the demo so many times that I like had it memorized.
Yeah.
And then
I have a few of those.
Played the actual game. I rented it from Blockbuster, and then rented it again from Blockbuster, and then made a decision to never return it to Blockbuster. My parents weren't happy about that decision when they figured out the late charges meant we now owned the game.
Yeah.
I was happy about it because I mean,
Well, they bought a game when they weren't wanting to buy a game.
exactly. I played that game a lot. That was one of the games that disappeared whenever I lost a lot of my games after moving, like in the early 2000s.
Tenchu is cool.
Wrath of Heaven was the fucking jam, though. That was the sequel.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that game was spot on. It was so I would play that again right now.
I don't see the Tenchu style lending itself well to the Souls style because of the stealth aspect of the game.
Now I disagree completely. Because okay, I've never played Souls, so my disagreeing with you is based strictly on my own ass backwards pretension. So bear with me.
Having played all of them,
Having played none of these games, let me tell you exactly why you're wrong. I don't know how similar this is to the Bloodborne play style, but being something from software,
yeah,
I could see the Tenchu ideals going very well with the Bloodborne play style.
but the stealth aspect is something that I don't think would lend itself well to this game. A lot of the Souls games rely on jump attacks, like they're an enemy hiding behind a wall that you don't know is there, and him just savagely, secretly murdering you, I guess.
Now, but you don't think if there was a stealth aspect to that, where you've got this area, a playable area in front of you, and you know that there's enemies hiding in the nooks and crannies and corners and depths of this town, you don't think having a stealth aspect involved where you might find them first might be an interesting way to go about it?
No, because I hate stealth.
Well, I guess this conversation's over.
I could see a stealth Tenchu game being fun for some people. I just don't think that it fits the Dark Souls aesthetic very well. I think, honestly, what I think it is, I think it's another Souls game, but it's a spinoff in a kind of like a Tenchu setting, I guess,
Like some ninjas
feudal
or
Japan or
samurais.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not. I think they're, when they said that they were done making Souls games, I think they're not done with the style. They're just done with that series.
Well, sure.
And I'm okay with them putting it in a different setting. I'm okay with them changing it up, but as long as they keep that style, I am so addicted to that style of gameplay. I will drop everything to play those games multiple times through.
Yeah.
And I love them. But I mean, with this remastered version, I just want to give a few points as to why this is a good remaster. It's a good entry point for people who've never played the game, first of all, because what I've noticed, because it's so much easier for me to play through this, it makes me realize that those games did get progressively harder, and with that hardness scale, the first game was made easier as a result, or maybe I just am more practiced and know what to do, and I've already played through the game, so I know what to expect. But I still think it's a great entry point. The graphics look amazing. They look up to par with Bloodborne and well, maybe not Bloodborne. They look up to
Bloodborne's a good-looking game, man.
Yeah, it is a good-looking game. All of them are, really. Dark Souls 3 looks great.
Is the gameplay the same? It just looks nice.
Everything's the same. They don't move anything around or anything like that. The few changes that they did do, they made the online co-op system much easier. Taking cues from Dark Souls 3, they implemented the password system. So you and a friend can set a password, set down your summon sign, and be able to summon each other without being summoned into somebody else's world.
Oh, wow. All right. That's cool.
Also, the big problem with the original Dark Souls is you would set down your sign, you would have to find a little nook or cranny to where, and explain to your friend where it is to go find you and hope that nobody else picks you up. And then you got to sit there and wait for it to show up because it didn't always show up on your friend's screen, depending on if you're on another server or not. It was a nightmare to play co-op in Dark Souls. It was doable. We still did it, but it was a nightmare. So all of that's been fixed. They've added the DLC.
Is that how the co-op works on Bloodborne as well?
Bloodborne, I think... Man, I don't remember, actually. I can't tell you. But I do know that Bloodborne was easier to get in with a friend.
I'm still not touching Bloodborne again until you and I decide to co-op it.
I'll co-op with you anytime. It's one of those
that's
that...
sweet.
I might just run it through.
You're cute as hell.
I will say that...
I just don't want to play alone.
I don't play them alone either, to be honest with you. Like, I'm playing through this with my buddy Max right now.
Yeah.
I can play it by myself. I can play it alone and do just fine, but it's so much better when you play it with a friend.
Honestly, Shelby did so well whenever she played it that day, the
She
day
just
that I
played with
quit, that I thought about like seeing if I could borrow another PS4 from somebody and hooking up a second PS4 in the house on a different TV
Yeah.
and making her co-op it with me.
Yeah. I thought about doing the same with the Xbox One. Amy's so into PUBG right now that we could co-op with each other, but I don't do the mobile game stuff.
Right.
Cut back to the Firelink Shrine. Like, all the paths are interconnected in a way that makes sense, and it's so cool. Like, you're going through this one level and then you kick down this ladder and go down the ladder. You're like, oh shit, I'm back here at this bonfire again. How did I make this circle? It just, everything is so like
Nice.
flows together. It's the level
Nice,
design.
organic.
Yes, the level design is brilliant, and that's something they haven't been able to nail quite right in the following games after this. It's
Just not quite as intuitive.
no, not even close. Like, Dark Souls is so good in that manner. Blighttown is fixed for all you Dark Souls people. Blighttown it's not lagging or stuttering. That was a big issue. That Blighttown was a place that was already overly difficult because they throw a bunch of enemies at you that can poison you, and it's in a dark area with rickety bridges and stuff like that, and it's easy to fall, it's easy to get poisoned, it's easy to get attacked and overwhelmed. Throw into that the frame rate going down to like 15.
Woof.
It was bad. Now, I don't remember having
Do
that
you
many
think
issues.
it went down like the quality of the level was compromised because they were throwing so much at you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I absolutely think so. Yeah, there was so much going on in Blighttown that it was just hard for them to program it to work well. I'm guessing. They did fix it on the PC version later, but
Are you saying Blight Town?
Blighttown, yeah.
Man, I thought you were having a real hard time saying Bright Town. And I was like, am I going to call him out about this or just let it fly?
You know, it's Blighttown, and everybody who's played Dark Souls knows Blighttown. Everybody hates Blighttown. It's one of those
Blighttown.
notoriously hated levels in the game. But in fact, I just got through it last night with my friend, and yeah, it was a solid 60 frames per second. No hangups, no hiccups. It still was a shit level, and it still sucks, but it's so much better now. And now that we've passed Blighttown, we're good. We killed the spider. There's a spider with a woman's body on the front of it, and it's
The Blighter Spider.
yes, man. It was. She's not a hard boss, but it's such a cool like design.
Is it a hot woman's body?
Yes, it's
Is
a hot woman.
Is she saucy?
She's saucy and she's topless, and
Ooh.
it's just her from her waist up on the front of this really disgusting, grotesque, big fang, big teeth spider, you know, that shoots fire out at you.
A
And
fire spider?
fire spider, man. It's
Damn.
the character designs in
The
Dark
fire
Souls are so good.
Man. The fire spider from Blighter?
Blighttown.
Yeah. The Blighter fire spider.
The Blighter Fire Spider.
Yeah, whenever you go fight, you're the Blighter fire spider fighter. Say that.
Blighter Fighter Spider Fighter.
Blighter fire spider fighter.
Blighter Fight. I can't do it. There are some downsides to this remastered version though that I wanted to touch on just a little bit. It's glitchy, and it's glitchy, way more glitchy than it should be.
Like
And
glitchy or like broken.
no, glitchy, as in there's a part in the one part of the game.
What's up, buddy?
A big giant dinosaur.
A big ginormous dinosaur, huh?
What the?
Do you want to come show everybody what you've got? Come here. Who do you have? Guy, wave at the camera right there. Say, hey, I'm Fat Big.
Hey, I'm Fabbing.
Who have you got there?
This guy.
Those are some cool guys, huh? Is that PJ Masks
Yeah.
and Minecraft?
She makes a Minecraft.
That's awesome.
Are those Owens toys?
Yeah.
That's way cool. You gonna go play now?
Yeah.
All right. Say, thanks for having me, Jab Gcast.
Thank you for having me, Gavga.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for joining us, Fat Big.
Our
See you later.
First official guest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We get interrupted occasionally.
Keeps it raw.
Keeps it intact. So the glitches only seem to happen in multiplayer mode, I ran into this happens a lot actually, where you would kill an enemy and it would respawn like right there in front of you and reanimate, like it just appear. And so you would kill it and it would come back and kill it and it would come back. That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Also, there was a part last night where we were playing, and that happens a lot actually, so it's kind of annoying. But there was a part last night where my buddy was seeing these two big lizard guys that were dead on my screen, but they were alive and attacking him on his screen. So I'm looking at him and he's sitting there blocking these attacks, and I could see him getting
beat up, but you didn't see anything?
I didn't see anything. So
That's
I come over
crazy.
there and he said, just swing your sword and see what happens. And I did. He said, oh, you're hitting them. They couldn't hit me because I couldn't see them. So I was hitting them, trying to kill them, but their health wasn't going down. So we ultimately just decided to run away and hope that they don't follow us. And they followed us for a bit, but didn't come back. But it was so weird that he was being attacked by these invisible enemies. So those are a couple of the downsides to the remastered version, but overall it's a good purchase, and I really recommend it for anybody who's curious about the series at all. This is a great starting point. And all the other versions of the game are available on PS4 as well, so get your start there.
That's rad. I'm gonna have to play it. I say that about every game. I'm gonna have to get to that.
The last one I want to talk about here, well, the last old new game for me, is the Sega Genesis Collection. It's a compilation of over 50 games from the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive.
Is it 50 relevant games, or are there like 4 relevant games and then a bunch
They're all relevant. There's probably a handful of games I don't care about in there. The rest of them are all games that I love.
Like the classic retro game, Decap Attack.
Oh man, I love Decap Attack.
Decap Attack. Or Wonder Boy and Monster World.
Wonder Boy is a fantastic game. You're naming all the great ones.
Am I really?
Yeah.
The End of the Millennium.
I don't know anything about that one.
Gain Ground.
Gain Ground's okay.
Flicky.
Flicky's good.
Man, I'm trying to make fun here. Actually, the first one listed on here is Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle.
Alex Kidd is so good.
That game's the jam, dude.
Yeah.
I love Alex Kidd. Big fan. We got Alien Storm, Alien Soldier.
Yeah.
Ooh, Altered Beast. That's a crap game.
It's full of good games, man. And the one thing that's really impressive to me...
Except for Altered Beast. That game's...
I love Altered Beast.
No, that game's bad.
No, it's good. It's so good.
You got Virtua Fighter 2 and Streets of Rage on here, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Streets of Rage is good. Altered Beast is... Dude, I could play that game all the way through in one sitting and not a problem. It's a short game, but it's a fun game. You don't like when you turn into the werewolf?
I just thought the game was bad. I didn't like it when I was a kid and played it. I have that Sega Genesis handheld, and it's on there, and I tried to revisit it as an adult. The game never did anything for me.
Welcome to your doom. There's the one thing that was really cool to me is it has all these RPGs that I missed on the Sega Genesis, like Landstalker, Shining Force, Phantasy Star, and there's others, but
yeah, like Toe Jam and Earl and Panic on Funkatron.
That's right. Toe Jam and Earl is great, man. There's
some really good stuff on here.
There's a lot of great stuff on
Shinobi 3 and Revenge of Shinobi.
The coolest part about this is they set up the menu system like you are in an old school retro bedroom. So you have a tube TV sitting there, and you have your game shelf, like my game shelf here, and you have all the games sitting there, and you just cycle through the games and pick the one you want.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they'll take the cartridge, put it in, and you turn it on the system.
That's fun.
And then it's got posters on the wall of Sonic and stuff, and you can change the time of the day in the bedroom, and it will shift the time of the day and like from night to, and it usually is relation to whatever time of the day it is when you're playing the game. But you also have options where you can do full screen. You have all these different resizing options, but you can actually play it on the TV screen. So they'll show the TV screen complete with the rounded edges of the old tube TVs.
That's cool.
And you could put scan lines on it to make it look like it's on a TV. It's so much customization that you can do. They also have challenges, and one of the challenges that I did was to play through the first level in Sonic in under 2 minutes in reverse. So you're running from right to left instead of left to right. And it was cool. It was fun. I did good. It took me 2 tries to get it, but I got it. And doing that just puts a new spin on the games that you really haven't thought about before. It gives you another goal to aim for. And you get trophies as a result and stuff.
I'm sorry I'm so fidgety. You keep looking at me. I've got a sunburn and I just want to take off my clothes so bad.
It is summertime.
I'm sorry.
There's the only thing that's missing, and actually I forgot to mention this about Street Fighter. Street Fighter has a wonderful museum where you can go through and look at old drawings of the game and
that's cool.
Concepts. Like they talk about characters that were going to be in Street Fighter 2 that got scrapped. So you get to see all these different characters that didn't make it. And
really, like they've got scrapped characters. That's cool. I love stuff like that, man.
There's so much of it.
I love that stuff.
Like the first game, they have a museum for each of the mainline games. So Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha, all of those have their own museums, and they've got like 150 images. Each image has a description detailing what the image is about. It's super cool. Sega Genesis Collection, on the other hand, does not have any museum type things, and it's really kind of a bummer. I think
that'd be so cool if it was in there.
They did do it on the last compilation disc, the Sonic All-Stars Collection or whatever it was.
Well, that's cool.
So it's done.
Sonic is what I would care about most anyway. You know my love affair with Sonic.
They have it on like on the Xbox 360 and PS3. They have a compilation disc that has a museum. Even if they just ported that stuff back into this disc, I think it would have been cool. But it's highly recommended. Both Street Fighter and Sega Genesis Collection. If you were an old school gamer, if there are games that you wanted to play but never got a chance to play, these games are really great. This game was $40. This one was $30. So they're inexpensive. Actually, reverse, 40, 30. But they're inexpensive for what they are and how many games that they offer. It's really cool. So that's what I've been playing. Here this weekend, though, I've been playing a couple other games. Nintendo Switch released
demo Blitz.
Yeah, they did.
That's not from anything. I just threw it out there.
Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah,
that demo came out this weekend. It's a limited time demo. Let me say, I was not interested in Mario Tennis until I played this demo. Now it's a must buy for me. It's an absolute must buy.
I would say so.
It's so freaking fun, man. Like they start you off with 4 characters. You got Mario, Peach, Bowser, and oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, would
it be
Mario, Peach, Yoshi? He's my main.
Yoshi.
Oh my gosh, how do I forget that?
You don't get to play anymore.
I was playing as Yoshi most of the time through this game, but each character, while they all control the same, they each have their own special attacks, and it's like a fighting game but in tennis. It is so fun, man. And they've thrown in these different move sets that allow you to, like, there's a button where if you're on one side of the court and the guy hits the ball to the other side of the court and you can't make it in time, you can either slow down time with one button and run over there and go hit it back if you're close enough to it. But if it's too far, you can double tap a button and he'll do this special move where he'll leap over to the other side of the court and hit it back. Oh, cool. Then you also have special moves that allow you to pinpoint where you want to hit the ball. So you go run into this little star and you hit the button and he'll jump up in the air to hit the ball and you pinpoint on the other side of the court where you want it to hit. So if your opponent is on one corner, you can target the other corner and get it past him. And everything is tied to this power meter. And whenever you use any special attack, it drains that power meter, but you can gain it back by doing good shots. Right. Perfect shots and stuff like that. And once it fills all the way up, you can do an unblockable attack that is devastating. Like if you're tied up and you just want to take the game and it's been a hard game, you can do one of those special attacks, and sometimes they can block it, but most of the time they can't. And it takes a lot of skill to block it. And if you do block it, it knocks you way back out of the court. So there's so much going on in this game, and it really feels like a just a well done fighting tennis game. It takes me back to the old Dreamcast virtual tennis. I remember we used to have tournaments, or not tournaments, but we would compete when I worked at Toys R Us. We would set up virtual tennis on the Dreamcast. It was on display, and we would sit there and compete against each other.
All right. So sorry to interrupt, but with the bracket system, like, is it the type of bracket? All right, is like a classic bracket system, like where I can work my way up to like second seed, and then lose and I got to start back at the beginning, or is there like a rematch function?
That's exactly how it works. It's like I like to imagine it like a Final Four,
Right.
NCAA playoffs bracket system. You've got all you start off on the top of this bracket, and there's I don't remember how many different players there are, but you play your first game. If you win, you go to the next bracket and play the winner of the other games, and you don't watch them play or anything. It's just they automatically place you there.
Right.
So you don't, it's not a foretold thing. So you could stop in the middle of the tournament and come back anytime you want and still be at the same spot that you were.
Oh, that's
at.
great. That's cool.
And they match you up with anybody who's in that same tier of the bracket system. So I've only made it to the second tier in the bracket, and I always lose in the second tier. There's a lot of people that aren't very good, but there's a lot of people that are very good. Like
Already?
yeah, like I just got beat today. The guy had 15,000 score, and you get on average, if you win a game, you get on average between 30 and 60 points per game, or maybe a little bit more.
15,000
Yes,
on a
if you-
demo.
on a demo. Yeah,
Because the actual game's not out yet.
no, and this
Holy
demo's been out.
shit, like 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, since Friday night.
It's already had like well over 1 million downloads worldwide.
It's such a fucking good game, man. Like I use that maybe say fucking because that's how much I love it. Like I did not think I would like this game at all. I am really pumped up to be able to play online and do the bracket system. It's a game that I want to get good at.
Right.
And I want to find a character that I enjoy playing as. I've been maining as Yoshi, but I also tried Bowser, and Bowser's a lot of fun too. They each have their own unique subset of skills.
I'm trying to get on that Chain Chomp game, dude.
Chain Chomp is cool too. I played against a guy. Actually, one of the guys that beat my ass was a Chain Chomp, and yeah, they're tough.
Unless Larry Koopa's on there.
One of my
That's
Larry
my-
Coop.
Larry Koopa.
Oh yeah.
I doubt he's on there. But
Well, you start in the demo. You start off with 4, but you can unlock more, and they don't tell you who they are. It's just
rad.
like
Okay, that's cool.
it's a box.
I
with
mean,
a
like I said, I
question mark.
downloaded it and I messed around in the menus a little bit, but I didn't have time to actually like get into
I
the
think
game.
the demo runs until tomorrow, so
I gotta do it tonight.
You got to do it tonight. It's
No
so
God of
fun.
War tonight.
The
Mario Aces Tennis or Tennis Aces. Maybe we'll be able to match up.
you can't. So there's no way to in the demo. There's no way to play against a friend. You can only do this random matchmaking system.
All right.
But it's still fun, and it's so satisfying when you beat somebody. It's just like just especially when you're volleying.
Man, that was bad. That was like what was that word I was trying to say that episode?
I don't remember.
I don't remember what the word was either.
But yeah, when you're screw it.
No, get it
When you're
out
hitting the ball back and forth to each other, and you guys are going at it
When
for
you're
a
pinging
while,
and
and then you
ponging.
pinging and ponging, and you finally get that game-winning smash. Oh, dude, it's so satisfying.
Man, I know a thing or two about a game-winning smash. I'll tell you
I
that
know
right
all
now.
about the game-winning smashes.
Fuck yeah, you do, man. Always have, really.
The graphics are beautiful. The sound effects, everything's great about it. It's I really don't have anything negative to say about the game. I do recommend though, if you're going to give it a try, they have a tutorial system that they kind of force you through. Pay attention to that, because if you don't know how to use the special moves and the game systems that are implemented, you won't do well in this game. It's not as simple as the old virtual tennis where you run to the ball, hit the button, hit it back. Run to the ball. It's not that. It's like you have to implement these special moves.
Right.
And it's so fun because of it. And I think that's what set this game apart for me and makes me want to buy it.
When you're playing and you are pinging and ponging back and forth,
Yeah.
what is that called?
Volley? I call it volley.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to see if you could say it whenever you weren't concentrating.
When I'm saying volleying, that's,
Oh, all right.
which probably isn't even a word, but I can't say it anyway.
I'm sure it's a word.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it. If you guys didn't get a chance to play the demo, sorry. It's coming out in less than a month. The other one that Nintendo Switch came out with was Pokemon Quest. Did you try this one yet?
It's just Pokemon Minecraft. Kind of. Well, it's
Well-
Pokemon by way of Minecraft.
By looks of Minecraft.
Right.
And that's about as far as it goes.
Well,
Like,
sure, but it's just obviously that's the first thing that gets brought to mind.
Yeah,
Is
and
th-
it's
is
cute.
that-
It's cute.
It's cute. It is.
The sound effects of the music in the game is super, like, I love the music. Like, if nothing else, the music is really great, and it's kind of like it really sets the tone for this character aesthetic that they got going on. They also have the sound effects from like the Game Boy original games. So
Yep.
all of the characters have their old Game Boy noises. And that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
The thing is, the game is a mobile game that they presented to be on the Switch.
It should have been a mobile game.
It still can be a mobile game. In fact, they should probably make it a mobile game.
They should yank it from Switch and make it a mobile game. Why would I don't understand why you would put a game that effectively plays itself like a mobile game
Yeah.
on a system like the Switch.
Because
What's
it's
the
got the
point?
touch screen and it lends itself well to it. It works on the Switch.
Just because it works doesn't mean that it's an appropriate usage of that technology.
I agree. And the reason I agree is because this is one of those free to win types of games, or free to pay, as like I like to call them.
Free to
too.
pay,
Yeah.
pay to win.
Pay to win. You get the game for free and they lock things behind a paywall. And what those things so far what I've discovered is you get these little tickets. And these tickets are used to speed up different things like well, actually, before I get into that, let me tell what the game is, what you're doing. You pick your Pokemon in the beginning of the game, and you go into a level, and the Pokemon automatically walks wherever it wants to. And if it runs into other Pokemon, it automatically fights them. But you can tap your special abilities that you want to use those. Or
Honestly, it kind of sounds like an episode of Jersey Shore.
I don't get that joke. I never watched the show. I'm just laughing.
I love how you laughed first. Just, walking around of their own accord, just wandering aimlessly. If they run into another one, they automatically start fighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In that sense, that's exactly what it is.
It's just like Jersey Shore.
The thing is you can either tap it to tell them what to do, or you can click autoplay and the game will just play its own damn self.
That's
literally
stupid.
play itself.
That is stupid.
It is stupid.
That's why I don't dig it. I was excited when they announced it. I saw it on my phone because I get those updates, those news updates on my phone, and I saw it. The article was 10 minutes old whenever I saw it that they had dropped this game, and I was like, hell yeah! And I went.
Pokemon is exciting. Anytime they announce
anytime
anything,
Pokemon is exciting, and this just.
Well, I saw the announcement.
Put a blanket on my flame, man.
Yeah, I downloaded it and I was like, this game looks really kind of cute. I'm into cutesy games.
This looks like fun.
And so far, and it is fun. I mean, it is fun to an extent.
It does literally nothing for me.
It's not a game for everybody.
We disagree a lot tonight.
It's not a game for everybody, but the thing is when you go through, you collect items, you collect little pieces of food that you can use to get more Pokemon.
Right.
Or you can collect like special what are they called? They're like buffs that you attach to your character.
Okay.
And so you use the food and you put them in a pot in your main area and you cook them, and if it'll attract other Pokemon that can join you. And so you create your team of 3 Pokemon that explore the world. And if you want to train one Pokemon up, you can use the other Pokemon that you have to basically you use the skills or the level to help increase the level of your Pokemon, and that Pokemon disappears. So it keeps you from accumulating a ton of Pokemon that you don't need.
Right.
But that being said, like besides collecting Pokemon on a game that plays itself, there's really no draw to this game, and I wanted to like it, and it's not doing it for me.
I don't know why. And you know what? It's just me coming with this angle again. I don't know why they don't put out a Pokemon game that's just an open world, just a massive open sandbox world like Fallout or Skyrim, Breath of the Wild.
So traditional sense Pokemon, but more open than, because those usually, they're open. You can go wherever you want, but you're still set on paths.
I mean, just like a world where you can explore wherever you want, you can go wherever you want, and you custom tailor your own journey to become a Pokemon master. You start at the beginning with your one starter Pokemon, and you get set out in the world, and you take quests and side quests. And it's, like you said, like a traditional Pokemon, but it's actually set up in this open world. Like you can be walking across a field or through
So
the forest.
instead of going to Pallet Town, you go to some other town first. Like you can go wherever you want.
You can go wherever you want, and in between, like you could be walking through the forest, like say on Breath of the Wild, you can be walking through the forest, and you've got to fight off, a few
Rat-a-tats.
bokoblins or whatever, bokoblins, however it's pronounced, and you got to fight a few.
Pokemon.
Yeah, but exactly though. You got to fight off, a few baddies, and then you could be like attacked by a rogue Charizard.
Yeah.
And then you got to defeat it, and then you've got the choice to,
Run
take
away
it in or not.
Yeah. Honestly, that
Like
that could be fun.
a true open sandbox explorative game like that with elemental dangers and environmental dangers and quests and side quests and a customizable character that you can upgrade, and you choose your own roster of Pokemon as you adopt them like you would weapons or anything else, and you've got your inventory and all that. Just like, I could see it being made in like the visual style of like Breath of the Wild, with the same type of gameplay, just as Pokemon,
I think it could work, but
I think it'd be fantastic.
I don't ever see Nintendo doing something like that. It would probably have to be somebody else. So other people out there, take note and create a game like that. I think it would.
Let's get that moving, right?
it could work. I really think that's a good style.
I'd play it. Yeah, I think the entire concept of Pokemon lends itself very well to that idea.
Well, on that note, they did announce the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Yes.
Well, let me finish Pokemon Quest real quick. Pokemon Quest sucks. I don't like it. Don't play it. But Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee looks great. So get ready for those. I mean, those games, those are about as traditional as you can get with a Pokemon.
Yeah.
I've accepted the fact that Pokemon is not going to change. The way that Pokemon game is the way it's always going to be. The graphics are going to get better. You're going to have different Pokemon, but it's always going to be the same style.
Right.
And this is further proven by these two games. These two games look like Pokemon Yellow, like a remake of Pokemon Yellow. You've got your Pikachu that'll follow you or ride on your head according to the trailer, or you can choose an Eevee. And it's cool. You've got the 150 original Pokemon, or is it 151?
It's 151.
151 original Pokemon, and you are exploring. What was it? What was the name of the town again?
It's the
Kanto
region.
So you're exploring the Kanto region, collecting Pokemon. The cool thing about this new game, though, is it's on the Switch. People were hoping for a traditional Pokemon on the Switch. Well, it's coming. The other thing that's cool is they're implementing motion controls, and you're using the Joy-Con to throw your Pokeball and catch Pokemon.
Oh no, it's 150 original Pokemon.
Okay.
That always confused me because the intro to the Pokemon song, the original show, the song said, "There's 150 more to see. To be a Pokemon master is my destiny. Pokemon." And Pikachu, well, it shows a bunch of different Pokemon in there, but I always assumed that Pikachu was a given and there was 150 more to see.
Oh.
But no, he's part of that 150.
Pikachu didn't count. Pikachu's half human.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, all right.
Well, so you're using the Joy-Cons to throw Pokeballs at the screen.
That's a broken TV.
Exactly. And they're going to release a Pokeball that you can you click the button, mock throw it at the screen, you capture the Pokemon, and it stays in the ball, and it makes noises and stuff at you, like if you take it places.
That's a fantastic peripheral idea. Also a broken TV.
Broken TV, exactly. And the thing is my daughter loves Pokemon. She would be absolutely thrilled to have something like this. But I am not having my kids pretend to throw a freaking Pokeball at the TV because what's going to happen? They will actually
throw a broken damn TV.
Exactly. It's such a bad idea, isn't it? It really is a bad idea.
I mean, in theory, I get it. Like, hey, that's cool. You've got an interactive Pokeball.
Yeah.
That's neat. But that's no, not for children. Even for adults, man. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
It's going to happen. We're going to see reports of broken TVs because
immediately.
Remember when the Wii came out?
Yeah.
All the reports of the broken TVs?
Yeah, I absolutely know.
This is going to be even worse. I don't see kids having to put on a wrist strap every time they want to mock throw that Pokeball. I can sit there and try to tell them all I want, but man, if they break my damn 4K TV, I'm going to be pissed.
You're going to stuff them in a Pokeball.
That's right. But the other thing that's cool about this is Well, my daughter, since she's so big into Pokemon, I'm going to buy 2 copies of the game. I'm going to buy the Eevee, which Eevee is her favorite character. So she's going to be Eevee, and I'll do the Pikachu version. And we're going to play together and trade and everything. But I might end up getting her a Switch. I whisper that so she can't hear me.
They got you, man. That's what they did.
The thing is,
they've captured you.
They've captured me, and this game might make us a multi-Switch household, which is if that's what the goal that they're hoping for, it's going to work.
Brilliant.
It's going to work.
Yeah, Switch sales are about to explode again.
Oh yeah,
with this.
Absolutely. And if they release like a special Pokemon edition that comes with the game, I might cave in and just buy her the Pikachu or whatever edition. She would fucking love it. And it would be right around the time of Christmas and everything. That would be her big present. I'd have to save for a while though. That's a lot of money.
That's a big present.
That is a big present. But it's super cool. What the heck is that?
That's a fat big dinosaur.
So the other cool thing is they're implementing the game with Pokemon Go. I haven't played Pokemon Go since the damn thing came out. What about you? You've still played it all?
No. I mean, I revisited it once, maybe 6 months ago, and was like, well, this is still neat. But if they're trying to it's cool that it ties in because I know people that still do play.
I do too.
And I think that'll be a nice tie-in for them. If they bite off on this, the people that I know that play Pokemon Go are completely sated by the fact that they're playing Pokemon Go. They're down with that being their Pokemon experience.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's cool. And the thing is they're allowing you to import the Pokemon that you catch in Pokemon Go into Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. That's a cool idea.
That's
I'm
neat.
down with that.
It's cool.
I'm really down with that. And you go out and catch that elusive, Dragonite or whatever. I don't know. I'm just naming one. And you can bring that into your game. Maybe it's harder to catch in the game, but it's easier to catch around where you live. That's a cool idea to me.
Kicking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I'm excited about this game.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a must purchase.
I'm excited about it too. I don't have any reason to put a second Switch in the house for it, but
well, your kids aren't old enough yet. If you had a daughter that was into Pokemon like mine is.
Yeah, dude, if the bird looked at me and was like, "Buy me a Switch," I'd be like, "Fucking okay."
With those eyes?
Those eyes, man, you can't. You cannot say no to those eyes.
She's cute as hell, I must say. She's got those eyes that what is it, the Precious Moments eyes?
Yeah, man. Those Precious Moments eyes. She belongs on a little plate. On a metal stand in my grandma's kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, there is one more really cool announcement that just happened, and it's all yours.
Fallout 76.
Oh!
A new Fallout. Oh my god.
So what have you heard about this?
I've been erect for 3 straight days.
It's such a cool thing, right?
Yeah.
What do you...
Okay.
They really only put out a trailer, and the trailer didn't say anything. So
no.
All we have to go on right now are
context
rumors.
clues that I have gone like wildly off course with what I think this game is going to be. And I'm probably wrong about most of it, but there's the rumor that it's going to be like a multiplayer online experience.
Yeah.
That's floating around. I'll be a little bit pissed if they give it the Elder Scrolls Online treatment because that game was just not great. It was okay.
It was okay.
But if you played Skyrim first, it was just such an underwhelming experience.
Or if you played World of Warcraft, it doesn't measure
honestly,
up to that.
ESO is just such an underwhelming experience.
Yeah. A lot of people still play it, and it's still going strong.
It's entertaining enough.
Yeah.
But it's just underwhelming for what it could have and should have been.
Yeah.
If they do that with Fallout 76, I'm going to be mad. I am excited to hear what they're going to do with Fallout 5 through 75.
They will package them all into one game and call it Fallout 76.
I think it takes place in a more Midwestern setting.
It looks that way.
I think it takes I'm going to guess Nashville.
What? Oh no, that was Las Vegas. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's going to be in Nashville. Country music was playing on the radio in the trailer. And if you pay attention to the soundtracks, there's like some quasi-regional influence in the games with the music that's being played.
Would be cool if the radio played like old school, like beginning country music or something.
Yeah, that'd be so rad.
That would set
that's
the tone
kind of the
so
music
well.
I'm into right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never really been into it, but I don't mind it.
You would after you played that game, you'd be into that type of music for a while.
But if they made the game in that setting and had that music to go with it, What better way to immerse you?
Like, exactly. Imagine taking a setting like the Fallout series and putting it in like a post-apocalyptic Wild West setting.
Yeah.
That'd be
would be
that'd be
cool.
rad if
It
that's
would be really
what
cool.
they're gonna do. Also, I mean, if it is like a multi-online player, what would it be, like a survival?
So
Like,
the
do you think
rumor is that it's going to be a survival game. It's not going to be a massively multiplayer, but limited to just a few people. And
Like you
like
could
a
run
Rust or a Daisy.
like you could run into other players.
Right. And you could be, from what I've heard, the rumors are you build your own base and you go out and explore, and it's a survival game. You know, you collect resources that you need to build your community and survive. And if you, I don't know, maybe if you die, you lose everything, because that's kind of the theme of those games, but
Right.
who knows?
But
It's an interesting concept that I think could
the
work.
trailer gave us nothing.
Nothing.
And like I said, I've already got my own menagerie of suppositions about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm as excited as I can
I
possibly
wonder
be.
if we're going to hear more about it on E3.
I bet that will be one of the keystone subjects at E3.
Probably.
That's a big blockbuster announcement to be making.
It is.
And if they do announce it at E3, honestly, with Bethesda's release schedule in the past, I would imagine we might have a new game in our hands by holiday season.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, when was the last one released?
Fallout 4. And that was the E3 that we watched in 2015
Oh,
at
damn.
Fast Signs. And we
Yeah, that
watched
is an old
that
game now.
at work, and it came out November of that year.
Okay. So it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, I honestly, they need a big cash cow, and Fallout will do it for them
Yes, it will.
if they do it right. If they do
And
it
Fallout 4 was lackluster overall by comparison to its predecessors.
right. It's still going strong. There's still people buying and playing through that game.
Right.
It's
But
got
it-
legs.
It's got so much going for it. It still managed to be a little bit meh, a little
Yeah.
bit lukewarm, you
Yeah.
know? And so I'd really love to see them do something really, really big and really great with 76.
I would love to see something new, but
And I made that joke about the 5 through 75 because that joke's all over the internet
It
right
is,
now.
isn't it?
It is. I just want to jump on that bandwagon for a sec. Isn't it because you start in Vault 76? That's actually what it is.
you know,
is that you
I
start-
originally thought that it was because it was the year 1976. Like maybe time had progressed further. Maybe this guy was in this vault for that long and he's finally coming out in 1976. I don't know. Like but it does make sense. Vault 76
Yeah.
makes better sense than what I came up with in my head.
Well, yeah, I mean his suit says the suit in the trailer says 76.
Does it? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Duh.
we'll see. I think I'm done.
Dude, that yeah,
I'm
that
sick.
wraps things
I'm
up.
tired. I'm
I
done.
did want to talk about
Yeah.
E3 stuff, but we kind of peppered that in. Let me mention though, again, I'm going E3. I will be posting stuff, so please give us a follow on Instagram. On top of that, dude, what's our website?
www.
World Wide Web, that is?
Jabgcast.com.
JABGCAST.com. You can find our social media links, all of our social media links there.
Everywhere that you can find the podcast is on there. All of our supported platforms.
Exactly. That is the
Uh,
go-to place.
love you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.